In May of 1828, a boy appeared in Nuremberg carrying 2 letters and almost no clear story about who he was. He seemed around 16. He walked awkwardly. He spoke strangely. And the phrases he repeated made him sound less like an ordinary runaway and more like someone who had arrived from a life almost no one could imagine. His name, he eventually wrote, was Kaspar Hauser. And for nearly 2 centuries, people have argued over what he really was: a victim, a fraud, a hidden aristocrat, or one of history's strangest damaged children. The basic facts are clear enough. On the 26th of May, 1828, Hauser appeared in Nuremberg carrying a letter addressed to a cavalry captain. Another letter claimed to be from his mother. The story suggested he had been kept in confinement since infancy and now wished to become a cavalryman like his father. At first, he could say very little. He seemed socially stunted, physically awkward, and deeply confused by ordinary life. That alone would have made him a curiosity. But curiosity quickly became obsession. Officials, doctors, teachers, nobles, journalists, and rumor makers all moved in. Some people believed Hauser had truly been raised in almost total isolation. Others thought he was acting. Some believed he was the victim of a criminal secret. And before long, the most dramatic theory of all began to spread: that Kaspar Hauser was not just an abandoned boy, but a child of noble blood, perhaps even the true hereditary prince of Baden, hidden away so another branch of the family could inherit power. It was a theory with everything a public mystery needs: lost royalty, conspiracy, hidden imprisonment, and a frightened young man who seemed unable to explain himself in a normal way. And yet, the case is not that simple. Kaspar did not remain frozen in that first impression. He was taken in, educated, and observed closely. He learned quickly. He drew. He adapted. But the more he became part of ordinary life, the more the argument split. Was he recovering from extraordinary deprivation, or proving that he had been able to manipulate people all along? Then the violence began. In October 1829, Hauser was found wounded in the forehead. He claimed a hooded man had attacked him and warned that he still had to die before leaving Nuremberg. The attack deepened the mystery and strengthened the idea that someone wanted him silenced. But skeptics argued that he may have injured himself. Even at the time, opinion was dividing sharply between those who saw Hauser as hunted and those who saw him as theatrical. That split never really healed. Over the next few years, Kaspar changed guardians and supporters. Some became convinced of his sincerity. Others lost faith in him. The public story around him kept growing darker and stranger. Was he being pursued by people who knew his true identity? Or was he inventing danger because he could not live up to the impossible role that had been built around him? Then came the final event. In December 1833, while living in Ansbach, Hauser returned home with a deep chest wound. He said he had been lured into a garden by a stranger, promising information about his origins, and that he had been stabbed there. A folded note in mirror writing was connected to the event. 3 days later, Kaspar Hauser was dead. He was 21 years old, and once again the same question returned. Was he murdered? Or had he staged one last attack and accidentally killed himself? Forensic opinion and later scholarship have often leaned toward self-infliction. Many writers have argued that Hauser may have wounded himself to regain sympathy or revive the fading mystery around him, only to miscalculate the severity. But that conclusion has never erased the unease of the case. Because even if his death was self-inflicted, it does not explain who he really was, what happened to him before 1828, or how much of his story was true. And then there is the noble birth theory. For generations, the most romantic explanation was that Hauser was the lost Prince of Baden, secretly removed as an infant and raised in concealment for dynastic reasons. That theory helped keep the case alive long after his death. But modern genetics has badly weakened it. In 2024, a new molecular analysis concluded that Kaspar Hauser's alleged princely descent through the House of Baden could be ruled out, reinforcing earlier doubts rather than rescuing the legend. So, where does that leave the mystery? Probably not with princes. Probably not with a royal child hidden in a dungeon for 16 years, but not with a neat ending either, because stripping away the grand conspiracy still leaves a deeply strange core. A boy appears from nowhere. His background is murky. His behavior is unsettling. He inspires intense belief and intense skepticism. He is attacked, or appears to be attacked more than once. He dies violently before the story can be settled. And even now, the case resists becoming just one thing. Maybe Kaspar Hauser was a damaged young man who learned how powerfully mystery could move the people around him. Maybe he was part victim and part fabulist. Maybe he was not a prince, but was still telling some broken version of the truth about an early life of confinement and abuse. That uncertainty is what keeps the case alive, because the most haunting mysteries are not always the ones with the biggest conspiracies. Sometimes they are the ones where every explanation solves one layer and leaves another untouched. Kaspar Hauser may not have been who legend said he was, but he was still, in the end, exactly what his headstone calls him, a riddle of his time. So what do you think? Was Kaspar Hauser a lost prince, a carefully crafted fraud, a deeply damaged victim, or something even stranger that history has never quite been able to explain? Drop your theory in the comments, because this is exactly the kind of mystery where every clue seems to open another locked door. And while you're down there, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Strange Dispatch, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next journey into the strange, the mysterious, and the unexplained. Until then, keep your lantern lit, keep your questions sharp, and remember, the world is always stranger than it first appears.
Footsteps in the rain, UFO above the desert, dancing just beyond the range. Loch Ness in the dark tide, ripples in the blue. The triangle took flight, 19 and never gave a clue. Project Blue Book closed it, Roswell said not quite. Flatwoods on the hillside in a blast of silver light. Pyramids still watching, Puma Punku in the sun. Easter Island's faces looking like they know what's coming. Every file gets stranger, every signal bends, every case is closed, comes back around again. Ghosts in the stairwell, voices in the walls. Something in the static says it's not over at all. The strange dispatch tonight, on the air, on the line with the dead air humming, and the pale moon shining bright. From the woods to the waves, from the sky to the glass, all the weird old stories come racing right back. And I don't know where the truth begins, but I'm tuning right in to Strange Dispatch again. To Strange Dispatch again. Shadow people slipping at the corner of the room. Hat man by the doorway in the midnight blue gloom. Back rooms in the distance, buzzing yellow kids, men in black, and the grays. Number stations calling out from somewhere far away. Every tape has whispers, every road has signs. Every little mystery lives between the lines. Old ships, old ruins, old lights in the sky. Every time I think I'm out, it pulls me back inside. It's strange dispatch tonight, on the air, on the line, with the dead air humming, and the pale moon shining bright. From the woods to the waves, from the sky to the glass, all the weird old stories come racing right back. And I don't know where the truth begins, but I'm tuning right in to strange dispatch again. Love in the snowfield, canvas torn apart, flanning on the ocean with the dark and silent spark. Nazca in the desert, lines too large to hide. Oak Island keeps a secret buried somewhere deep inside. Agartha in the deep earth, Atlantis in the foam. Black night in the heavens, like a watcher coming home. Kubrick on the moon, set whispers in the frame. Rendlesham in the pine woods, calling out your name. Maybe it's weather, maybe it's lies, maybe it's fear when the dark gets in your eyes. Maybe it's wave surge, maybe it's stars. Maybe something strange is never really very far. Every myth, every track, every signal flash, every old lost name in a dust-filled file stash. Every ghost, every light, every half-seen sight keeps my radio heart beating through the night. Strange dispatch tonight, on the air,